Good morning, Miss Hera. We are Group 6 and today we will be presenting the different chemical reactions. Before we begin, let's start by listing the contents. List of contents. First, we have intro to topic, then 4 types of chemical reaction, combination versus decomposition and its sample. Then we have single versus double displacement and its sample. Next, factors that affect rate of reaction. Then, the summary. Then 5 multiple choice review.
What is chemical reaction? A chemical reaction is a process in which one or more substances, called reactants, are converted into one or more different substances, called products. During a chemical reaction, the bonds between atoms in the reactants are broken and new bonds are formed to create the products. Chemical reaction can involve changes in color, temperature, odor, or the formation of precipitates or gases.
4 types of chemical reaction. Combination versus decomposition. Combination reactions involve the synthesis of a single product from multiple reactants, while decomposition involves the breakdown of a compound into simpler substances. Combination reaction is when two or more reactants combine to form a single product. A decomposition reaction is when a single compound breaks down into two or more simpler substances. For reference, we can see A plus B becomes AB, but for decomposition, we can see AB becomes AB.
Aside from combination and decomposition, there is also the single and double displacement. Single displacement reaction involve the replacement of one element in a compound by another, whereas double displacement reactions involve the exchange of ions between two compounds, resulting in the formation of new compounds. Single replacement reaction is also known as substitution reaction. A substitution reaction is when one element replaces another element in a compound. We can refer to the example here, where AB plus C becomes A plus BC. On the other hand, double replacement reaction is also known as metathesis reaction. It is when the positive ions in two ionic compounds exchange places. We can refer to the examples here, where AB plus CD becomes AD plus CB. Did you get that? Let's have a recap. A synthesis reaction is when two or more reactants combine to form a single product. A decomposition reaction is when a single compound breaks into two or more simpler substances. A single replacement reaction is when one element replaces another element in a compound. And finally, a double replacement reaction is when two positive ions in two ionic compounds exchange their places.
Now let's discuss about the factors that affect rate of reaction. The first one is concentration of reactants. Next is temperature, surface area, presence of inhibitors, and catalysts. The first one is concentration of reactants. Increasing the concentration of one or more reactants will often increase the rate of reaction. This occurs because of a higher concentration of a reactant will lead to more collision of that reactant in a specific time period. The next one is temperature. An increase in temperature will raise the average kinetic energy of the reactant molecules. Therefore, a greater proportion of molecules will have the minimum energy necessary for an effective collision. Next is the surface area. In increasing of the surface area of the metal by pounding it flat or cutting it by into many pieces will increase its reaction rate. Reactant molecules exist in a different phases. As in a heterogeneous mixture, the rate of reaction will be limited by the surface area of the phases that are in contact. The next is presence of inhibitors. Increasing the concentration of one or more reactants will often increase the rate of reaction. This occurs because a higher concentration of a reactant will lead to more collisions of that reactant in a specific time period. And the last is catalyst. Catalysts increase reaction rates by offering a more favorable reaction pathway that requires less activation energy, thereby increasing the number of effective collisions between reactants and accelerating the overall rate of the reaction.
For a quick summarization, chemical reactions is a process in which one or more substances, also called reactants, and are converted to one or more different substances, are known as products. For the four types of chemical reaction, the first one is synthesis reactions. It is where two or more reactants combine to form a single product. Decomposition reactions is the second one. It is when a single compound breaks down into two or more simpler substances. The third one is single replacement reaction, when one element replaces another element in a compound. The last one is double replacement reaction. It is when the positive ions into two ionic compounds exchange places.
Time for a quiz. Number 1. It is when two or more reactants combine to form a single product. A. Combination reaction. B. Single replacement reaction. C. Decomposition reaction. D. Double replacement reaction. Number 2. It is when the positive ions in two ionic compounds exchange places. A. Decomposition reaction. B. Combination reaction. C. Double replacement reaction. D. Single replacement reaction. Number 3. It is when a single compound breaks down within two or more simple substances. A. Single placement reaction. B. Decomposition reaction. C. Combination reaction. D. Double replacement reaction. Number 4. An increased blank will raise the average kinetic energy of the reactant molecules. A greater proportion of molecules will have the minimum energy necessary for an effective collision. A. Surface area. B. Temperature. C. Concentration of reactants. Number 5. If it increases one or more reactants, it will increase the rate of reaction, because a higher blank will lead to more collisions of that reactant in a specific time period. A. Surface area. B. Temperature. C. Concentration of reactants.
That is all for our group. We hope you were able to understand our discussion. Thank you for listening.